Well, how's it going, old schoolers? You are Kicking It Old School, and I'm your host, Russell J.S. This is the 50th video so far, and I'm on the verge of having one more subscriber to make 40. Anyway, one of the things I want to get down with you about is not necessarily a new treasure video or anything like that, but those are coming again soon, rest assured. But, I wanted to touch base with you. It's been a while since I've done a video. And what I want to talk to you about is I came to a new revelation this past week. I'm going to go ahead, once the fall is completely here, sometime between maybe in early October, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look for a second job to work part-time seasonal on weekends. So that way, I could sack up enough money, because I'm going to open up a small business, maybe hopefully sometime in the next summer. Now, today I went out to, in Florida, what's known as, I think they're called the tractor company, and I was looking at power washer equipment. One of the cool things about Florida is, well, first and foremost, Florida is in fact the retirement capital of the nation. I mean, anybody that retires, from working so many years at a good job and made investments, they all like to come down here to Florida to live their lives. I mean, some of them will say they'll have a house up north, like they'll have some house, like say in New York or Pennsylvania or wherever they're from, or Illinois. And then they'll have a house down here. They'll come down here like in the winter time. They'll stay from say October until late May, until they go back up north for the summer. And one of the things that brought to mind was, and I've had this idea, I think I had this idea since 2006, of starting a power washer business on the side to make a little extra money to sack away. And I was thinking about it, what would I have to do? I mean, I couldn't just start with one of those electrical pressure washer machines and hook up to somebody's spigot and, power wash their home. That wouldn't be right. I would just add to their water bill. And not to mention, what comes with a lot of things is having a license and having insurance. But, one of the things about it is, it'd be something that I would love to do. I could come home from work from my day job, just, get the work van and the trailer hitched, and go to some 55 and older gated communities and power wash, the mobile homes there. And, I could just go ahead and rake in some money, make some investments so I could have a good retirement. Now this, on the other hand, is the YouTube thing that I'm doing. It's strictly out of enjoyment. I do, like I've said in previous videos, I hope I entertain you. I hope I entertain you, and I hope that I, inform you. I hope you like what I do. I know some of you do like what I do, but I'm hoping to get more subscribers. And, and I got to go on journeys. I went on a journey for the last 2 weeks to Pensacola, and well, it's a cozy little town, it's okay, but nothing like home. And sometimes I like to drive through some of the rural towns, small country towns that are around in this area. It just reminds me of what America used to be, like the country stores and all that other good stuff. And it's like, I was driving on the way to this tractor place. I was driving through on the main roads going towards LaBelle, Florida, which, by the way, in a sense, the downtown area kind of reminds me, same thing with Alva, Florida. They both kind of remind me of Hill Valley, California and Back to the Future. But one of the things I was seeing as I was driving through some of these streets and making my way back to Lee County, Florida, was I was going past all these 55 and older gated communities, and I'm thinking to myself, I could get all the gear that I need, to get started, get my license, and get insured for it. All it would take is for me to knock on doors if people are home, hand a flyer out to them with a card, and let them know that I'm licensed and insured. So that way they're not getting ripped off, and God forbid if, I don't know, say, like let's say a window got busted out being hit by the pressure washer. With the insurance, you're covering your customer and you're making them happy. You're not being fly by night, and you're not there just to take the money. And, a lot of things. I mean, it's very exciting, And other things I have in mind, I know some friends that play music, and maybe I could finally get some kind of band started. I mean, I was looking at, what would be good for cover tunes, and funny thing is, I remember how when I was playing guitar, when I would learn cover songs, or attempt to learn cover songs, I would come up with my own stuff. But, like, some of the stuff that I would feed off of, I'd go ahead and, I'm getting out some guitar books, trying to show you what I had in mind. I want to show you what my plan is. I mean, I was thinking, every time, I never go and see a cover band. If a band is playing, I never care to see bands that, it's not the fact that, why can't they come up with their own original thing? Why can't they go into a studio and record original music and play the original music? I mean, granted, I know that people like to hear bands play their favorite songs, but the problem with that is, I think what the issue is when it comes to playing favorite songs is that it's the same thing the radio plays over and over again. Like, how many times do we hear Roadhouse Blues by the Doors on the radio, or, Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin, or Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, and then, like Foo Fighters. I'm thinking to myself, like here's a Foo Fighters tab book with their best of anthology. I mean, you hardly hear bands play like Everlong or Learn to Fly. I mean, when bands play AC/DC, the only AC/DC I hear them play is You Shook Me All Night Long. I mean, just look at that list of great songs AC/DC has to offer. I mean, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap for those about to rock. And getting back, I was learning one time, I learned how to play the rhythm part like what Malcolm Young would play on For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. And if I played it differently, if I added a faster tempo, I would actually come up with my own thing, which I really did. And then Guns N' Roses, I mean, how many times have people played Knocking on Heaven's Door, or, I mean, why can't they play like, Double Talkin' Jive, or Get in the Ring, or Garden of Eden, or The Garden, which, by the way, I put the chords to The Garden together one time and came up with my own thing. Same thing with the song Dead Horse. And, Nirvana, all you hear is people play Come As You Are and Smells Like Teen Spirit. How about Stain? Or how about playing like Lithium? What I'm trying to get at, and you never hear any bands, well, very, very seldom do you hear any bands play any Ramones except for Blitzkrieg Bop. I mean, heck, they don't even play the Ramones on the radio. But, I mean, what I'm getting at is, not the same cover songs. Every time I've ever seen a cover band when I went out, they play, it's almost as if they're in competition. Who could play, say, Stairway to Heaven better? Who can play Turn the Page better? Who could play Light My Fire better? get in these bands, what they need to do. Rock and Roll All Night, who plays it better? You know, get into what those bands, other stuff, because they've had plethora of other hits besides those. I mean, heck, the only Metallica album that really influences me is the Garage Inc. Of course, I'd rather do something like play Last Caress by the Misfits. I know, I mean, it's a good album. I mean, the two albums, Load and Reload, weren't really all that good. They were good, but they weren't, like, great. Metallica had done better. I mean, I played the entire album of Load. Great songs. Really, really great songs. But, you know, like, they could have been played a whole lot better. They could have played them how Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets sounded. Same thing with the Black Album. You know, imagine what Enter Sandman would have sounded like if they would have played it in the style of, like, Ride the Lightning or Kill Them All, you know? But yeah, you know, I'm getting all my gear set up and everything, but I wanted to touch base with what's been going on. I got to see my daughter again, and, you know, I got to be with her for a week last week, and we had a lot of fun. You know, we did things together. And, you know, every time I see her, I get motivated into doing something more and more. You know, and I'm very motivated to get this power washing thing going. And I'm motivated to maybe getting a band going. Sure, I'm 42 years old. But you know what? I don't have to try and be a rock star or anything like that. You know, I could just enjoy doing what I'm doing. Anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and touch base with you. This is my 50th video to date. And, you know, hopefully I make subscriber number 40. If you are new to the channel, you know, hit a like. Hit subscribe, and don't forget to, you know, go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell, so that way you'll be notified when I come up with more content, which I have a video getting ready to be in the works right now, pretty soon. Anyway, this is your old pal Russell J.S, you know, saying, you know, always wishing you all Godspeed, and may the Force be with you, always.